Now I'm going to talk about the trigeminal nerve. So cranial nerve 5 is known as the trigeminal. Tri means 3 because it has 3 branches. And I'm going to show you on this drawing. So imagine that this is the cranial nerve 5. Trigeminal nerve. So this is the trigeminal nerve and it becomes a bulge. It's called trigeminal ganglion, and then it gives 3 branches as you see here. And this is the first division. It is known as the ophthalmic. The second one is called the maxillary. And the third one is the mandibular. So ophthalmic is important because it is just supplying the orbit and the eyeball and part of the face on your head, forehead. So as you see here, ophthalmic, cranial nerve 5-1, the first division, going forward and passing through the superior orbital fissure to get into the orbital cavity, and then it gives off 3 branches. From lateral to medial, this is the ear, so this is the lateral. Here is your nose, this is the medial. So this green border shows the inside of the orbit. So after getting into the orbit through the superior orbital fissure, it splits into 3 branches from lateral to medial. We have lacrimal, frontal, and nasociliary branches. Lacrimal going forward through and to get into the lacrimal gland. This is the lacrimal gland. Frontal going to the frontal bone and supplies the skin on over the frontal bone. That's what's known as a frontal. Nasociliary going to the medial. It's a medial branch and supplying the nose. And ciliary gives some branches to the ciliary, to the eyeball. So lacrimal starts with L, frontal F, and nasociliary N. So from medial to lateral we have NFL. NFL is the mnemonic. Nasociliary, frontal, lacrimal. So you can see in the middle we have frontal nerve. It's a branch of the ophthalmic. It's the chunky one and it's on top of the levator palpebrae superioris. So when you're removing the roof of the orbital cavity, you can come across with the frontal nerve, and then deep to this we have LPS, levator palpebrae superioris, and then we have superior rectus. So frontal nerve goes forward and it splits into 2 branches. They're called supraorbital and supratrochlear. So supratrochlear is more medial because the trochlea is here, and supraorbital is more lateral. Supraorbital, supratrochlear. Both of them coming out of the orbit through these notches or through this foramen. So medially we have supratrochlear, lateral we have supraorbital. They are supplying the skin on the forehead. And what about the lacrimal? Lacrimal provides the sensory innervation, only sensory. It has nothing to do with producing and releasing the tear. Sensory innervation to the lacrimal, and then again it is exiting the orbit and supplies the skin here on the lateral side. What about the nasociliary? So nasociliary, as I mentioned before, it gives some branches to the nasal cavity and paranasal sinuses. So here we have 2 branches. They are called the posterior ethmoidal and anterior ethmoidal. So you know we have ethmoid here on the medial side, and we have ethmoidal sinuses. So they are supplying the sinuses, paranasal sinuses like ethmoidal, sphenoidal, frontal, and it's getting into the nasal cavity and supplying the nasal cavity. And it goes forward, it gives infratrochlear branch, infratrochlear. Supratrochlear passing above the trachea, infratracheal, passing below the trachea, and it exits the orbital cavity and supplying just here, just below the eye. So just keep in mind, all these branches are sensory, they are not motor. They have nothing to do with muscles. They are just provide sensory innervation for the orbital cavity, for the adjacent cavities, for the skin, for the eyeball, for the lacrimal gland. Now I'm going to show you on the model. Now I'm going to show you the branches coming off from the ophthalmic division of the trigeminal nerve. So this is the trigeminal ganglion. It gives off 3 divisions. The first division up here is the ophthalmic division that is getting into the orbital cavity through this superior orbital fissure, and it's traveling alongside other cranial nerves, cranial nerve 3, 4, and 6. So ophthalmic nerve, when it's getting into the orbital cavity, it gives off 3 branches as I showed you on the whiteboard. So it gives off the lacrimal, frontal, and also nasociliary. So from lateral, we have lacrimal. This branch is the lacrimal branch of the ophthalmic. So lacrimal going to the lacrimal gland, that it would be here in the superlateral part of the eyeball in the orbital cavity. And then the second branch is the chunky branch. It is known as the frontal branch. Frontal going forward the frontal bone, and it splits into 2 branches as you see here. The lateral one is the supraorbital, the medial one is the supratracheal. Supraorbital, supratracheal, they are coming out of the orbital cavity through the foramen and notches. So supraorbital coming out of the orbit through the supraorbital foramen. So if you look at here, this is the skull, here is the frontal bone. So you can see here, if you look at closely, there is a notch. It's called the supraorbital notch or foramen. And a little bit medial, we have supraorbital, supratracheal nerve coming out here. So supratracheal would be here, and supraorbital is a little bit lateral coming out of this notch or foramen. And they are supplying the skin on the forehead. So supraorbital, supratracheal. Why it is called supratracheal? Because it's passing above this trachea. So I showed you this trachea in my previous video. So the tendon of the superior oblique muscle passing through this trachea, and the nerve is supratracheal nerve going up through above this trachea and exposing here. Then the lateral, the more medial one is the nasociliary. If I take off this muscles, you know, you look at here, this is the levator palpebrae superioris muscle, and deep to this we have superior rectus. If you look at here, this frontal nerve is just on top of the levator palpebrae superioris. If you remove the roof of the orbit, the first structure you can come across is the frontal division, frontal branch of the ophthalmic nerve, and deep to this we have LPS, levator palpebrae superioris, and deep to this we have the superior rectus. If I remove these structures, you can see the third branch of the ophthalmic nerve. It is more medial, and the deepest nerve is known as the nasociliary. So the nasociliary is more medial and deepest. You can see here the nasociliary going forward. As its name tells us, it gives some branches to the nasal cavity and paranasal sinuses. That's why it's called nasociliary. Ciliary means that it gives off some branches. You see here, it's supplying the eyeball, piercing the eyeball, getting into the eyeball. So this is this nasociliary. You can see here the nasociliary going forward, and it gives off some branches. You can see here, this is called the posterior ethmoid. This one is known as the anterior ethmoid. So they are passing through the ethmoidal sinuses here. and supplying the ethmoidal sinuses. And anterior ethmoid also supplies the nasal cavity as well. And if you look at here, it goes forward. You can see this branch, this one, and goes forward, passing below this trachea I showed you. This is the trachea I showed you, and it's called the infratracheal. You can see from the anterior view, I can show you the inferior tracheal branch here. This is the trachea, this is the inferior trachea. So supratracheal, infratracheal nerve. Supratracheal is a branch of the ophthalmic nerve, sorry, the frontal nerve. This is the supratracheal branch, and this is the infratracheal branch, is a branch of the nasociliary passing below the trachea and exposing here and supplying the skin just on the medial side of the eyeball. So you can also see here some branches of the nasociliary. It's called the long ciliary. So the long ciliary goes forward and piercing the eyeball and getting into the eyeball and provides a sensory innervation to the eyeball. You can also see some branches here. This one. This is the branch that is passing through this ganglion. Actually, this ganglion is known as the ciliary ganglion. It's not a sensory ganglion. It is a parasympathetic ganglion. So when I say parasympathetic ganglion, it means that only the parasympathetic nerve synapses onto this parasympathetic ganglion. So this branch is a sensory coming from the nasociliary. So as it's sensory, it does not synapses into this ganglion. So it passes without any synapsing through this ganglion and going forward as the short ciliary nerve. So this is the short ciliary, this is the long ciliary. So long ciliary coming off from the nasociliary nerve, going forward and getting into the eyeball, whereas the short ciliary passing through this ciliary ganglion without any synapsing and getting into the eyeball and provide the sensory innervation to the eyeball. Yeah, these are the branches of the nasociliary. So now I'm going to show you the details about the ciliary ganglion. As I mentioned before, the ciliary ganglion is a parasympathetic ganglion. It receives parasympathetic fibers from the cranial nerve 3, which is known as the oculomotor. So this is the lateral wall of the orbital cavity. If I remove the lateral wall, you can see the lateral rectus muscle. This is the lateral rectus muscle. So you can see the ciliary ganglion is between the lateral rectus muscle and this chunky nerve is known as the optic nerve. So this is the location of the ciliary ganglion. And if you look at here, this is the cranial nerve 3 oculomotor. When it's passing through the superior orbital fissure, it splits into superior and inferior branch. Superior branch supplying these two muscles, as I showed you, levator palpebrae superioris and superior rectus. And inferior branch, as you see here, it's supplying the inferior rectus and inferior oblique, and it's also supplying the this muscle, medial rectus. If you look at closely to this inferior branch of the oculomotor nerve, it gives a branch. It's a parasympathetic branch of the oculomotor. So it's synapsing into this ciliary ganglion and synapsing onto the postganglionic parasympathetic nerve. Then postganglionic parasympathetic nerve exiting the ganglion, hitchhiking or jumping onto this short ciliary nerve, which is a sensory nerve. And then it's getting into the eyeball alongside this short ciliary nerve. Into the eyeball, it supplies some smooth muscles within the eyeball. So I showed you these ciliary muscles here. They are a smooth muscle. It's supplying these ciliary muscles that is important for the accommodation. It also supplies the muscles around the pupil. This is the pupil. This opening his pupil. This is the iris. So there is a muscle here, smooth muscles wrapping around the pupil is called the sphincter pupillae. So these parasympathetic fibers also supplying the sphincter pupillae, and when it stimulates this muscle, it can contract, and then it decreases the diameter of the pupil, decreases the amount of light passing through this pupil. And as I mentioned before, in addition to the parasympathetic nerve passing through this one and synapsing into the ciliary ganglion, some sensory and sympathetic nerves also passing through the ciliary ganglion. So I showed you the this sensory branch coming from the nasociliary and passing through the ciliary ganglion without any synapsing, and it continues to forward as the short ciliary. In addition to the sensory, we have some sympathetic nerve coming from the sympathetic plexus around this artery. This artery is known as the internal carotid artery, and this plexus is the sympathetic plexus. So if you look at closely here, it's a sympathetic branch coming from the sympathetic plexus around the internal carotid artery, and it passes through this ciliary ganglion without any synapsing and going forward and hitchhiking into this short ciliary and getting into the eyeball and supplying the smooth muscles, as I showed you here. Some muscles, smooth muscles here around the pupil. In addition to the sphincter pupillae, we have some radial muscles here. It's extending peripherally. It's called the muscles that are just increasing the diameter of the pupil.